So I thought we might do something a little bit lighthearted today. It's been a long time. You know those olden day interviews that Grace VanderWaal did? I love them, especially Zach Zang and several other ones. So it's been a long time since she sat down for a lengthy interview. This is, several of you on my Patreon and YouTube channels let me know about this. Several of you sent me links. I really appreciate that. The Grace VanderWaal fans put something up on it too. So thank you to all of y'all. This is Lips Service with Scott Lips, Lipps. I guess it's promoted by Spin Magazine. It's his YouTube. This is put up on his YouTube channel, on their YouTube channel. There's only 4.525 thousand subscribers, so evidently they're just getting started on YouTube. I'm not really sure. And it's described as a sit down with Scott Lips to talk. Grace VanderWaal sit down with Scott Lips to talk about America's Got Talent, using YouTube to get her career started, becoming a Hollywood star girl, hitting her pinnacle, and what's next. Okay, well, that's a lot. And so let's just jump into this. I can't wait. And because you guys know how much I love this young woman's personality, her frankness, her honesty, her sense of humor, everything.
Hey, it's Scott Lips, and welcome back to another episode of Spin Magazine's Lip Service. I'm joined with the one and only Grace VanderWaal. We were having a great...
Grace slurps her water wrong, puts it down the wrong pipe right before she's supposed to talk. That's funny.
Just decided to take a drink.
Oh, it's all good. And we were in a great conversation about people sleeping till 8 p.m., which really doesn't happen too much. Bizarre.
And extremely concerning.
It is. But that's my other friend. But you were great last night. I saw you play. You were great, and it was an untraditional venue. Yeah. But it was great to see you in person and did a little video. And it was great to. I just knew that we were doing this today. Yeah. So I felt like I had to go see you perform.
I had no idea you were there.
I was in the front row, and people were like pushing me out of the way.
I know each other.
But it was great.
It was chaos.
It was chaos. And you did a great version of Stay, which I loved, and Lion's Den. So we'll...
Did he just say Stay? I'm not sure he knows her music very well if he just said Stay. I may have misheard.
No idea you were there.
I was in the front row, and people were like pushing me out of the way, but it was great.
It was chaos.
It was chaos. And you did a great version of Stay, which I loved, and Lion's Den. So we'll get into all that. But more importantly,
she did not call him on that. Grace is being quite. I think in her earlier days, she might have juked him a little bit and said, "You mean stray?" I know you meant to say stray, but she stayed quiet. That's interesting.
It's great to see you. So thank you for coming in. Are you a morning person?
No. Like even this. Wait, what time is it again right now?
I think it's like 11:15. It's
what time is it?
Midday, by the way.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, you're right. I should really get my act together on that. That's a very valid point.
But you probably stay up late, like writing music and.
Yeah, I'm like very much a night owl. Like I can never go to sleep. Last
IG
night was
Live.
a good night, and I would sleep at like 2:30.
Okay, so you did the gig, and then after the gig, did you go out somewhere, or were you?
I was so tired, dude.
That was it. Okay.
That was such a long day.
This is sounding like he just went and saw her, so this may have actually been recorded right after her performance of Lion's Den, I guess. Y'all let me know if that's, and then it was just put up on YouTube a couple of weeks later or something, or a month later.
I like meant my spirit wanted to, because I was like, yeah, but like just physically, I was like, I'm gonna lay in bed for 10 hours.
Yeah, well, it was a great show. I mean, I want to talk about your whole history, your journey in life, the new record and everything. And talk to me about a little bit about how you grew up, because you grew up a little, I mean, you moved around from like Kansas City to New York, and now I think now you're in, where are you now? Like Georgia? Georgia,
yeah.
right?
So you gotta, I mean, from Grace's perspective, somebody who just said Stay, because Stray is a big song for her. So you've got to be wondering, if I'm Grace, I'm wondering about this guy's credibility on actually knowing my music and being excited about being there at Lion's Den. Maybe I'm overplaying that, but it would kind of have that in my mind. I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit suspicious of how much he knows about me. And he was reading everything there at the beginning. Somebody who really knows Grace's stuff, like Zach Zang, I don't think they would read it. They would be comfortable with just going from memory. Anyway, just saying. I'm not too impressed with him right now. Hopefully I changed my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born in Kansas, and you know, when I was I've only ever known New York. Like, I don't have any memories of Kansas, and I moved to New York, and that was something. And
But not the city, right? You lived in Suffern?
No. Yeah, we lived in Suffern.
Yeah. Where is Suffern? I'm from New York. I have no idea where that is.
It's do you know Ramapo?
No.
Do you know Rockland County?
A little bit. I'm from Long Island. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
For some reason I never go there. I don't know where that is. But
Long Island,
okay.
but yeah, there are some neighboring, Nyack.
You know, for the purpose of the podcast, yes.
We'll say,
yes,
I know where that is. Yeah.
I haven't spent a lot of time there. But.
It's like a really like not a lot of people know. It's a smaller place, more insignificant than
like the suburb, like an hour north or something.
60 miles northwest.
Like 30 to 40 minutes north. Definitely it's suburb vibes. You know, you can like go a little bit into something and like feel a little bit more like a tiny city, but yeah.
And so did you grow up around music? What?
I think she's a little bit nervous in this interview. She's kind of stiff, and the way she's rubbing her left arm there, here, I'll back it up. She doesn't seem to be very comfortable with him. You know, because like in the old interviews with almost everybody, she was like super buoyant, super happy. But even look at her face right here. She seems a little bit sort of sketchy about him. But watch her how she kind of gets stiff and rubs her arm.
Like go a little bit into something and like feel a little bit more like a tiny city, but yeah.
And so did you grow up around music? What was your first? I know you started writing songs at like 3, which is insane. Or playing music at 3.
I feel like people try to paint it out like I was like this like crazy
child prodigy.
Yeah, like right. Prodigy, like writing sheet music and shit when I was, but like I literally would just be like, here's a table, this is a table, you know, like wasn't, but yeah, I guess you could say I was making music at like 4 or whatever. So I don't know.
Were your parents into music? Do you have music growing up all around you?
Well, you know, my dad is really into music and like the Beatles and older things like that, but you know, I feel like nothing out of the ordinary than any other, you know, dad from the 70s.
But not necessarily a musical family.
I don't know. Yeah, we were a musical family, kind of.
Because you like everything from like Ella Fitzgerald to I would assume like 21 Pilots, Katy Perry, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's just because
she has a great voice. Both of them have a great voice, but Grace, we've said before that she could have her own show. She has a really nice projection and sound.
I don't know. I can appreciate all. I like pop music and rap music and jazz. I love jazz. I've always loved jazz. Yeah.
Yeah. So at an early age, what were your parents exposing you to musically that you sort of? Because there's also like Joni Mitchell and a bunch of.
I was definitely around the Beatles. Sting.
Sting, not the Police. Sting. So Sting solo.
Yeah, Sting solo.
Okay.
Those were the 2 main things that were always playing. Jack Johnson and wait, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Jack
Johnson.
My dad like is very obsessed with that man. And then my mom would always play the album Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. It's like a weird like childhood milestone for me, like specifically that album, because it's when like Katy Perry was just first really breaking.
Sure.
And she had it on CD, and we would actually listen to that CD like top to bottom every day for like a whole summer. And yeah.
It's amazing because I started this company many years ago. We were talking about it outside this fashion company. Katy Perry, I guess, at some point was with my company.
No,
like,
really?
She was like just starting in music, and I still have the Polaroids of her like on the roof being represented, but it was only for like a year, and she hadn't really made music at that point. So of course I didn't know who she was, and
so that was
was like early on, and so I would just sometimes I look at those things because it's interesting, people that you meet in your path and your journey in life that come into your life, and you don't know at the time they're going to be what they are. But
yeah, that's insane.
But you have this incredible, you know, history where like at 12.
Grace just doesn't look very animated, or she doesn't look like she's enjoying herself. Hopefully that changes.
12 years old, and I watched the video the other day. I'd never seen your America's Got Talent video when you won that with the ukulele. Had to be surreal, and I have to know, I think the ukulele was something you picked up after watching like 21 Pilots or something, or YouTube videos?
Yeah, I mean, I loved 21 Pilots at the time. I was a huge fan, so I definitely idolized the fact that Tyler Joseph played the ukulele, but I really wanted one because we just had this woman stay at our house for a while.
Who played the ukulele?
Yeah, and she played the ukulele, and I thought that she was pretty and cool, and I was like 14 or way younger actually. I was like 11, and she probably was like in her early 20s, so it was a very,
She's a friend of the family that brought over ukulele.
No, she was just a stranger.
Oh, a stranger that
thought she was
stayed at your house with a ukulele.
I thought she was an au pair.
Yes.
This story is getting better. So
it's like a whole thing. But yeah, I didn't know who she was, and I just thought she was super cool. Definitely
Thought she was from Brazil and she was an au pair. Anyway.
I looked up to her a lot, and
no, she wasn't squatting in here. She was like a friend.
No.
She was like a friend of the families or something, right?
Well, no, she like it's a whole thing. It was like for a company that my mom was for like au pairs that don't have a place to go if they like don't match with their family. So they would like stay in we had like a renovated basement because like our house was built for like a divorce or something, like something the family was going through. Wait, or it was like for the dad, I don't know, but for some reason they made the basement like a little vibe, like it had a little kitchenette and stuff like that.
I like the story like someone built a house specifically for a divorce. Like, we're going to build this house together
just in case
we know we're going to get divorced.
I mean,
that would be like a new concept in American life.
Honestly, that's like really progressive and like emotional awareness. It's like, probably, you know what? We both know this is very likely.
It's probably realistic is what it is. And was it hard for you? Obviously, I watched that video. Simon Cowell calls you like the next Taylor Swift. I mean, has it been hard growing up in the public eye? Because by the time you're from 12, you were, and I watch old videos of you being interviewed. It's so funny to see because you're like an old soul, but you're 12 and you're speaking and you're writing these songs of like almost like relationships. I'm like, I don't think you were having any, you're obviously by yourself at 12. So where did you get that inspiration to write these songs at that young of an age?
Yeah, I think that even to this day, a lot of people tend to like push the narrative of romantic relationships on my songs, but like honestly, for the most part, a lot of my songs are about my family. Like just that's the truth. And like then maybe you can run off with that and sprinkle a little this and that, it turns into a different story. But like especially at that age, a lot of those like songs are about my sister or like fighting with my mom. Or stuff like that.
And you're right, people take those and like what's the real meaning behind, and it's really just you talking to your parents or whatever it may be.
Fully. And
your sister's sort of like your rock in the family, I guess, right? And your brothers. Tell me about your relationship and were they into music? And I think they've been incredibly supportive of your career too.
They have, and it's been really hard on them. It's been hard on everybody, because like that's a really hard thing to go through, especially because like they were in transitional moments, I don't know if that's the right word, in their life as well. My sister was like, God, she had to be like 15 or something when that was.
She was 15. I sometimes forget that how much the family has to go through when a member becomes internationally famous. I'm sure it has been difficult.
Happening. So, that's hard when you want to be your person too, but like it's the battle of like, well, I can't be selfish and I want to be supportive. But anyway, my sister was definitely my like
your rock, right?
She was like my mom growing. I mean, she fully, I feel like, just really was there for me in every single way. And
So what was that like at 12 years old? Like I said, I mean, you win America's Got Talent. And again, I'm sure it was surreal. Was it hard to process for you at that young an age? I mean, do you really know what's going on? Not really, right?
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Like, people ask me, like, in interviews and stuff, like, what was that moment like? What was going on in your head? You don't remember,
probably, right?
And I'm like, when something that overwhelming happens at that young of an age, you literally are just like... Like, that's it. It's almost like, in a way, traumatic.
Like she was on stage when she won. That's the trauma.
Because it's like just the overness of everything. It just sort of will numb out the, I guess, shock of it at a certain point. And I remember being shocked. I remember I felt like I just did drugs. I was like, I've never done drugs before, but this is what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was just very overwhelming, and yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, if you look at what's happening, I don't know if you've ever seen like Nandy Bushell. She's like 10. She's that drummer that played with the Foo Fighters. She's playing stadiums now at 10. And people are now at a young age, because you have YouTube and you can kind of learn anything, like whether it's drumming or singing. And I guess you kind of used YouTube in a way to put up covers and get into music, which is weird to have an education. Like when I was growing up, we didn't have YouTube. We got in a room with the guys in the bands and we were like, all right, you suck. You're not that great. We still need to practice for 3 years.
Way to do it, though.
Yeah, and then in 3 years we can probably play. We're not good enough now. Obviously, no one will come see us play. We're terrible. And we just worked on our craft. But you kind of started by just putting songs up on YouTube and covers.
Yeah.
And so tell me about that process and how that all started for you, because it is interesting. Again, I see people now in Shark Tank. They're like, I have a company. I'm 9. And I'm like, what? Like, what? You ever see that? I love Shark Tank.
I love Shark Tank. But yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I learned ukulele on YouTube fully, which was cool that I live in an age where I can do that. And like with the YouTube stuff, I really started doing that once I auditioned, because I mean, it was so, like, I think that is the worst and best part of everything, is like, I can't express how much none of us would have ever fucking thought, like, in a million years, that anything close to that would have ever happened. Like, we literally did that for like shits and giggles, just to like, whatever, let's wait in the line that we always see on like TV. You know, I don't think my mom would have ever even put me in if she actually thought that something like that would happen. But
what was like the first song that you uploaded to YouTube that you did?
It was Frosty the Snowman. Okay. I still remember. Yeah, because I did that audition, which was bizarre, and it's not the way it is on TV at all. Yeah,
what's it like, actually? Because I mean,
oh my God,
we want to know the.
I'm starting to like this guy more. I think he's loosened up and he's got a better connection with Grace. I'll be glad when Grace gets past the F terms and the S terms, the cussing. It's really not necessary when you're just having a conversation. But that's the stage she's in, and that's how she wants to express herself. Here we go.
Behind the scenes of what America's Got Talent.
So there was no line, which is the only reason why we went there, because like we found out there were only those lines in filming cities.
Now is this in LA or are you in Georgia?
This was in New York.
New York, okay.
New York. And yeah, they just like grouped us together, like singers, dancers, magicians, and then like you just went into this classroom with like all of like the chairs pushed up, and everyone's in there with you. Like you don't go by yourself. You get like 20 seconds. And there's just this woman with a laptop. She's like not looking up at you. And I remember
She's like, are you a magician or a singer?
I was like, okay, what the hell's happening? Because I did my turn, and I think I sang like X's and O's or something. Went back, and then we all went out of the room into this tiny hallway. It was so like dark and hot. And then
I've never heard this much detail on this. Has she given this kind of detail before? This is really fascinating.
They asked me back in, and it was like they had some weird excuse, like we are missing something on your information or something. And so I went in, and she asked me to sing another. She was like, do you have another song that you want to sing?
Still not looking up at you typing.
Well, no, now she was looking up.
Okay.
Now she was looking up.
Got the attention.
And this is the point where I was like, okay, this is maybe no, that's not happening, Grace. And so I went, and she literally had me sing until I was like, I don't know any more like covers or anything to sing.
Wow.
And that's actually, I don't know if I've even ever said, that's the first time that I sang I Don't Know My Name, because I was like,
yeah, I don't think has she ever gone through that process before? This is fascinating. I mean, this is one for the history books right here. She sings a bunch of stuff, X's and O's, and several others that she knows. and she ends up singing "I Don't Know My Name," which of course we knew that she eventually did, but I thought she actually did that first. Anyway, that's interesting, right?
I ran out of things, and then I was like, I mean, like, I have this little thing that I like tried to write the other day. Like, do you want me to sing that? And she was like, sure. I sang that. Then they took me to a whole other building that was like the show with like X's, like a real camera. It was wild.
Because it was like on an iPhone before or something.
Wow. All of that in the same day in just a couple of hours? Holy crap. I'd have been nervous out of my brain.
They weren't even filming it before.
Oh, they weren't? Okay.
They weren't even
so
wasting
that's like the
camera
okay.
memory.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was just genuinely, she's like, blah, blah, blah. But
weren't even wasting camera memory. It's funny.
My whole point of all of this is like, I remember I walked out, I told my mom everything that happened. Well, because she came with me to the other building. We were both like, what the fuck? What is happening? You know, because now we're like, is this gonna be a thing?
Yeah.
Like, what? And so I remember we went home that day and we were like, all right, this is gonna sound crazy, but I literally think that I got on the show. Like, that is so insane.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, maybe I should post some YouTube. Maybe I'm not that bad.
Let me break out the ukulele.
Yeah, and so that's when I started making little.
Wow, so that's the reason she started actually putting stuff on YouTube. She got the confidence of them asking her over and over to audition little things. Wow, maybe I'm not so bad. That's really fascinating.
YouTube videos.
And how'd you know that it was resonating with people? Because it's interesting. I mean, I do believe your voice is incredible. I mean, let's just put it out there, right? You have an amazing voice. You're so talented. So, you know, I do believe that if you're that talented, you have all these tools at your fingertips now, and people can discover you, and they will discover you. Like, I had a guy on the show the other day, Teddy Swims. I don't know if you know him. He's an amazing singer, and he too put like covers on YouTube, and then he got like 400 million.
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
all of a sudden he's, you know,
Right.
I don't know. Now he's like a big artist, becoming a big artist.
Wow,
So,
that's amazing.
but that's how, like, playing covers and doing covers on YouTube, like, it used to be something we couldn't do because we didn't have that vehicle. But now, like, look what happened. So, but when did you know that that was like taking and people were like responding to what you were doing there?
Good question.
Well, so no one actually really cared until my thing aired.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before
and
that, there was like 16 views or something.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
right.
24
Yeah.
realm.
It's tough. I've done those videos where like 6 people see them. You're like,
Yeah.
shit.
I didn't even know just like half of it is you.
Yeah.
Just like refreshing.
Yeah, keep playing it.
Rewatching it. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it wasn't until my audition aired where like those started doing really well and people were finding me, and I was like, it was just bizarre. It was just crazy.
And at that point, do your parents sit you down like, listen, we this is going to be a thing. Should we start putting like covers on YouTube and really run with this?
No, not at all. Like, it was just so, I mean, they didn't even, I don't even remember any, they didn't even do anything.
It was just you.
Well, like, the only time we might have talked was, I mean, because they were just as overwhelmed as, I mean, in a way, we were both just fully going through it together at the same time. It's not like they're like, listen, we've been around the business, and this is what you're going to do if you want to make it. You know, we're both, I mean, just all of us were just like, we don't know what's happening, but we're just going with it. And
I'm loving this because I personally have never heard her go into all of this kind of detail. So personally, I'm loving it. I don't know if y'all have. If you have, let me know. But wow, this is great. And she's so eloquent, and she's getting more relaxed now too, so that's good.
the only time that we, I guess, sort of talked was at the end of the show. I won, and I talked to Simon, and like it was, we were discussing like a full record deal, and it was like,
He's like, sign your life away right here and don't read this.
right here or
Do
right
not
now.
read this at all. But here's a 50-page contract.
Yeah, but it was like in that moment where I think that we all, me and my parents, were starting to get the awareness of like,
This is going to be
something is,
Yeah.
this is serious.
Wow.
Something is happening right now that we should definitely think through. And the only thing really my mom ever said to me was, she was just like, no matter what, I am never going to be your manager or work for you. And I said, no matter what, I never want you to be my manager or work for me. And we both agreed that that was the best decision we could ever make. To this day, it's the best decision we've ever made.
Okay, so that's weird that her mom would say that. I mean, why? I mean, it just wouldn't occur to me as the parent to say that. And I loved Grace's response. No matter what, you will never be. That's just so bizarre to come out and put it that way. All right, anyway.
Yeah, and that's really all that went into it.
Hard to work with family for sure. But so you win this, and again, looking back on it now, do you ever have you ever looked at that clip the last few years and just watched yourself on it?
Yeah, maybe.
That's
a good question.
You're one of the 114 million people that's looking at it. How do you feel when you look at it?
Actually, all me.
It's
I just
you.
watch it every
114 million times. How do you feel about it when you look back on it? I mean, you are so young, but again, like the lyrics are great. You're singing great. You can tell you're a star. I mean, I know it's hard, but no, but that because talent is talent. Like, and of course your voice changes, your writing progresses, you have life experience, you have nothing to write about when you're 12 except your family, fighting with your sister and whatever. But yeah, I mean everything progresses, but you can recognize great talent when you see it. So you must look at that with fond memories, I would imagine.
I think the last time I watched it was like 2 years ago, and I like specifically remember I was just like on my computer. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this shit right now. I don't know why, but I'm gonna do it.
Good.
And it had been so long since I've seen it, and it was genuinely like such a like surreal moment rewatching it, and just like I'm not gonna lie, this is every interviewer's dream because they always try to prompt me to say this. Do you remember how you felt in that moment? Do you remember how you felt in that moment? No, I don't.
Yeah,
I blacked out.
Yeah.
I was 12.
Yeah.
But
by the way, I can't remember yesterday, so I understand.
I know. Like, do you remember how you felt on your 12-year-old talent show?
No. I barely remember picking up the drumsticks at 8, so barely.
But I'm not gonna lie. Like, I watched it and like I definitely felt a little bit of like a wave through me of like that specific feeling, and like that specific feeling I felt in that moment was literally a feeling that I've never felt again in my entire life. Wow. Probably never. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, yeah.
Well, so it's a lot of pressure when Simon Cowell says you're the next Taylor Swift.
Well, no, he's getting too far ahead of her. Because it's that feeling right there in the moment. That's what he needs to try to dig into. What was that feeling? And it's got to be an emotional nuclear explosion that's going off in your soul. Because your entire life in those seconds, completely changes. Something completely unexpected happens. I hope he stays with that because I want her to expand on that. She will never feel it again. It's the only time she's ever felt it.
You're 12. You're like, what? Who? What do I do now? Right? So, yeah. Well, after that, obviously, it's a life-changing moment. And again, it must be surreal when you think about it, but I'm sure you don't remember much. So walk me through how you got the record deal, obviously all the way up to where we are today, because you've gone on, you've had this great career, and now you've done stuff with Imagine Dragons and played huge venues. And so, again, your whole path in life is so fascinating starting there, because it's not a normal way that artists start.
It's wild. It's like so crazy to even think about, seriously. So, the show ended, and I mean, directly after coming off stage from like the whole winning thing, my dad and I went into Simon Cowell's like dressing room, which it sounds weird, and maybe it was a little bit, but like it was really cool. It wasn't like, anyway.
Probably a big dressing room, I would imagine.
No, it was pretty small.
It was, okay.
It was pretty. Okay. It was a humble little.
Okay.
There was like Voss water everywhere,
okay.
Though, so it was a little chic. But he's just sitting there, and I genuinely don't remember anything from that conversation. I fully don't know. He said some stuff and looked really cool. And
okay, I just got to talk about this for a second. Simon Cowell pulls Grace and her dad into his dressing room to talk about the future. Wow. And the girl's 12. Just had a nuclear explosion moment in her banana pants up on stage. Her life is about to change. And now she's getting the recognition of one of the most notable people in the music industry. It's no wonder she can't remember. Wow, it's just too much. Wow.
Then you know what? I was so young that just so much was like organized for me, because then you need lawyers and you need this and you need a team and you need these people to help you figure it out. So like however the hell that happened, it happened.
But you were also homeschooled too, right? At that point, or were you going to public school or private school?
I think that I dropped out of public school.
He interrupts just a little bit too often. She was going down that thread. I wanted to hear more. And he redirects her to school instead of her expanding more on that. I wanted to hear more.
Like near the end of filming America's Got Talent, because I just couldn't. And also I hated that school anyway. So I was like, bye, bitches. But
so you're homeschooled, you get the lawyers, do you get a manager at that point?
Yes, I think so. God, you're like really straining my memory.
Well, some time goes on. And
time goes on, and then I remember the first thing the label was like, which I didn't understand, which I don't know why. It makes perfect. Now I fully understand, because people wanted, to stream the songs of the show. And they probably wanted to utilize that momentum as quickly as possible, because, the world's attention span is so short. So they were like, we need you to record those songs like right now, as soon as possible.
How about a full-length record in 10 minutes? You're like, what?
And so they threw me into a studio and had me record what is now Perfectly Imperfect, I think, was the cheesy-ass title. I was 13.
She doesn't remember the name of her first EP. I think cheesy-ass title. It's a perfect title. It's not even a perfectly imperfect title. It's a perfect title.
So I was like, this is deep as hell. Perfectly imperfect.
Now, when you're writing songs like that, is it just you and your ukulele? Are you?
Yeah, at the time,
Okay.
It was just fully me and the ukulele. But
I'm trying to think of other artists that have like made it big with the ukulele. I mean, it's not a very common
Tiny
instrument,
Tim?
is it? Not really.
I don't know.
I can't even really think of one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good one though, because it's just so damn easy.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it, because I just don't like to work hard for things at all. And so I loved that I could like get the reward of playing a song like instantly. But anyway, time went on.
Anyway,
and I developed such a great relationship with my label, and just like really fell in love with
the process, right?
the life that I just had. I mean, it's really
keeps interrupting, trying to put words in her mouth. Let her finish.
really crazy the way that like it's just, there's nothing else that I would, you know what I'm saying? Like I love it. Like it is for me.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just like bizarre, because I'm like, it happened so by chance, and it's just like, I don't know.
It's almost
really
like divine intervention, I guess. It was something that was supposed to be, and it is.
Because I fell in love with everything about my job, not just like writing music or doing things that I love, doing things like this and traveling and going to studios and co-writing and learning different ways and processes of making music, and just all of it.
And I think you really value writing with people and the producers and the relationships that you have making music now. So because now, and I guess kind of fast forward a little bit, Lion's Den just came out July 15th.
Yeah.
You have another record coming out, your full length, right? Your second full length coming out. So the process of writing music now, I mean, I guess you probably still like make music, I'm sure, in your bedroom and whatever, but like you're also working with writers, producers, and I know those relationships, as I mentioned, are really important to you.
Yes.
So talk to me about like how the process of music, is for you now.
Yeah,
good question.
I love co-writing and just being extreme. Wow. I also love production. Like I want to be a full producer one day when I'm ready to dip out. And so I love just being super collaborative.
Oh, I want to hear that again. Because many of you and I want her to be the producer. I want to hear it again.
Like, I want to be a full producer one day when I'm ready to dip out.
Tomorrow.
And so I
Just
love
saying.
just being super collaborative on production and people that love to collaborate with me and hear my dumbass explanations of sounds. I'm like,
Oh.
can we have
Come on, Grace. Don't be too self-deprecating. Ain't nothing about you that's dumbass, darling.
like bubbles, but they're like light and crunchy and dry.
It's almost like a food description or something. Like,
But I'm telling you, like, there are some
People
people
find it.
that
They find it.
fully like it's exactly what the fuck you heard in your minds. And
Yeah.
It's like magical and amazing, and like being able to write with people too makes you realize that like we all kind of have safety nets of like certain rhyme schemes and like cadences that we just kind of fall onto, and like it can make all of your songs sound the same. So like to have a refresher of like to riff on something and then someone's like, okay, what if we did that and took out this word and like elongated, you're like, whoa.
That's what Lennon and McCartney were for each other, right? I can see that. Even though she's the genius in the room, I can see somebody breaking up the rhyme schemes and cadences or whatever. So I can see that happening. It's cool. She's so eloquent.
Why didn't I think of that? You know, it's like cool to have someone kind of take you out of your like comfortable.
your zone, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever go to like writing camps, or do you have one? You know, you have Phyllis, you have Billy. Do you have your magical
I do.
You know, person that you believe
I
is
have
like?
a few magical people that
Yeah.
I
Ito?
just really like.
So who are those
worked
people that are your?
Ito?
There's a producer and writer named Ito that he's actually based here in New York, I think. But it's crazy because, you know, most, especially musical relationships I made when I was really young, you know, no offense, hashtag no hate, but, you know, didn't last because I was learning what I like and what I'm, you know, into. But he was like the first person I've ever worked. So he's like literally family to me at this point. I've known him since I was like 12.
That's great.
And I made Moonlight with him, which
I'm glad she's got somebody like that she completely trusts, who's very creative, very supportive around her, like family. That makes me feel good.
was like my first sort of independent, outside of the America's Got Talent realm, label sort of letting me do my thing song, which it's a very special milestone to me. But yeah, so him, and then also Mike Elizondo I just started working with for the EP that I'm dropping soon, that I can tell that's going to be a relationship for years and years. I love that guy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, was your process like
She said Michael Elizondo, right?
sending files back and forth? Did you get together with these guys and make music, or?
Yeah, during the pandemic just didn't work. We tried the things like that, and it's just not, you gotta be there.
Yeah,
like
no,
it
I
just
agree.
doesn't work. Like maybe at the tail end of songs, we can bounce back and forth of
Yeah.
like just mastering, like, oh, maybe this can be added or this beat at 2:13 can be dropped out. But like for the birth of the vibe, you just
You
have
gotta
to.
be there. You gotta be
just
there.
have to.
So
yeah.
talk to me about Lions Den. As I
Yeah.
said, I saw you play last night, Stay, which I loved, the great version of that, and Lions Den, which you got to perform. So,
So he really doesn't know the name of the song. Is she going to correct him? Who knows? I doubt it.
is that the first time you've actually performed that song? Because it just came out.
Yeah,
so.
it was the first time. So, you know, it wasn't terrible, but
No, I mean, again, a non-traditional venue, but you've also
Yeah.
played stadiums, like I said, with Imagine Dragons and theater tour.
So she wasn't crazy about that whole event, the PacSun. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. Yeah.
Tours and whatever.
Yeah.
So, and when you look back on some of your touring, and obviously you're going to do some more touring coming up now, like, what are your fondest memories? I mean, like,
oh my God, I love touring. I have some really, really good memories from touring. You know, Imagine Dragons definitely holds some of my best touring memories. Like, dude, that was just like, even just on a non-professional note, like one of the best summers of like my
Amazing.
life. It was just so fucking fun and like
Good bunch of people, I guess.
oh, just such good people.
Yeah.
And it was me and my personal band, so we're all like really good friends. And yeah, we had some really good times. I remember at the very end we all put on like these big like blow up suits
Yeah.
and like ran out on Imagine Dragons at the end of their show to like, I don't know, whatever, prank them or
You always have to do the prank.
I don't know, but it was stupid as hell, but it was fun as hell.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if it was Grace's idea to do that, but that is cool.
And yeah, just like messing around on that whole tour, I just like remember seriously like having the time of my life on
That's
that
awesome.
tour.
I'm sure there's plans to tour this new record coming out too, right?
Yeah, I really want to be an opener guy. I love being an opener.
Yeah.
I love being an opener. I would be happy being an opener for the rest of my life.
Now I heard that
Wow.
you're a fan of like, because it's fun.
So she likes being an opener for a bigger act. That's so cool. It's so humble. Not hogging the spotlight, not being the center of attention. Man, she just keeps on surprising me.
You know, you talk about like never meet your idols, and sometimes you meet them, and sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're terrible people. But
Yeah.
I know I think you're a fan of Ariana Grande.
Oh my
You got
God,
to
yeah,
meet her once,
yeah.
right? How was that? What was that like?
No, I've never met her.
Oh, you never met her?
I've
Okay.
seen her from afar.
Okay, she's
like,
been in the room somewhere.
like twice, I
Okay.
think. We've been in the same
Yeah,
areas.
I'm sure she knows
before.
who you are.
Oh God, no, she doesn't.
So, but if you could tour with anyone, who would it be? Who is your dream tour, right?
Oh well,
Hold on a second. Who would that be? Who would that be? 21 Pilots? Ariana? Don't know.
you know, there are definitely people where I'm like, I love them and I would love to tour with them, but like I love to like be surprised and maybe like I would have never thought that I would have toured with Imagine Dragons. I don't think that I would have ever. I mean, I really fell in love with their music on that tour.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever would have reached out and been like, I want to tour with Imagine Dragons. Reach out to their team,
Right.
You know. And it was like it was the best thing ever. So like I feel like I'm not exactly like that, but it would be cool to like.
But Grace's dream tour, would it be like Fleetwood Mac, a Stevie Nicks solo tour, a Joni Mitchell solo tour? I mean, Ariana Grande. Like, who would be like your dream tour that you could go on?
I really like Lorde a
Cool.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
That makes a lot of
Big
sense too.
accomplishment.
Yeah, I could see the.
She musically inspires me a lot.
Yeah.
You can probably hear a lot of.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she like really.
I like several Lorde songs. My daughter is crazy about Lorde, especially the first two albums.
Deeply inspires
Have
me.
you seen her perform?
No, I've never
Okay.
seen her live or anything.
Well, my
like
buddy manages her, and I'm having lunch with him, so I'll put it out there in the Ethernet. I swear I'm not lying. So, but
Oh my God!
yeah,
please do.
I will put that out there
would
in the
be
world.
so
You know,
sick.
sometimes if you manifest things, they happen. So don't think I won't mention it because I will mention it. But Stargirl, Hollywood Stargirl, just
Oh,
came out again.
yeah.
Another thing to talk about. You're acting, you're singing.
Yeah.
What do you prefer at this point? I mean, you've done great in both.
I definitely like singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love acting and it's fun, but it does not feel like
You.
touring or it's not like that passion fulfillment core. You know what I'm saying? Like this is so great. This is me. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, because the story, talk about the story about Stargirl and obviously Hollywood Stargirl and what's it about. It's a little bit like, you know, art imitating life with you, right? In a sense.
Yeah. You know, it's this girl and she's, you know, weird and whatever, unconventional in many ways. And she was homeschooled. She wants to go to public school, struggles going to public school. People bully the fuck out of her. She gets hurt. Is like, okay, let me blend in. And then has a beautiful revelation that she should be herself. And then in the mix of that, there was a romance where he was inspired by her, but like also embarrassed because of his insecurity, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They part ways. Whoop, bye. Never see each other again. Oh, so sad. Lost love.
But it's Disney, so we have to bring it back.
Well, so then there's a sequel. But that love interest never, Stargirl just moved the hell on.
They don't even address it in the sequel.
Just
It's
barely.
like,
honestly like queen shit. Like I love that for her. She just fully was like, next chapter. And she goes to LA. And what happens? Okay, she goes to LA and meets this boy, obviously going to be the love interest, and he is trying to be like a director or a writer, sorry, and he's going to make a movie. He's like, we've been looking for like the perfect girl, and that might be you. And I'm like, oh my God, like, no, like, I'm so shy. Like, I've never done that before. And he's like, you'll be great. And I was like, okay. So we did it, fell in love while making the movie. And, and then somehow, like, fully got a production company.
Seriously.
Again, it's
Actually,
Disney,
like,
so
reciting the plot really actually does sound like a fever dream. Like, it's kind of wild when you like really think about it.
Well, also she's a singer in the new, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and then in the mix of everything, like I break out and and then we write a song together. He discovers and I discover that we both are just like amazing songwriters.
Yeah, right.
Uma Thurman also is weirdly like helping us write the song.
Yeah.
She's like, whatever, you guys are the worst. I hate you. You're kids at a bar. And then she was like, actually, I like you. I was faking it because I wanted to fuel you with my hatred. And we were like, okay, bet.
Pretty right.
How was she? Was she great to work with?
She was incredible.
Yeah.
So cool. Like, I mean, I was just thinking about that the other night, just how unbelievably surreal it is. I just was
Worked
on
her.
fucking camera with Uma Thurman. Like, what the hell? It's just ridiculous. Like, I just...
Because initially when you did the first Stargirl, you weren't even sure you wanted to act, right? And you kind of like fell into it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fully. I was, honestly, I just felt like, you know, who knows how long I'll have this fame or these opportunities. I've never done a movie before. Like, might as well try. I mean, might as well be able to be on my deathbed and be like, I was in a movie. You know? So.
But music is your soul. But you are excited about Hollywood Stargirl.
I am. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I had so much fun. And it's a lot of fun to act. Yeah, for sure. Is it like my biggest passion? No.
Well, it's great. You know, it's definitely check it out. It's out. And I've heard you say when you reach your pinnacle, you'll have a treadmill, 3 puppies, and a computer. But I do feel like these are things you could have now, by the way. And
No, but it wouldn't hit the same.
Okay.
It wouldn't hit the same. Because, like, when I say treadmill, I mean, like, okay, I'm, like, late 20s, you know, eating a kale salad in this gorgeous apartment, all windows, skyscraper,
Puppies
New York
everywhere.
City, puppies everywhere,
Right.
like almost a health hazard. Walking on this treadmill, being like, I fucking made it.
That's funny. Well, you could have that now, by the way. But it's funny because you've done MSG, I think the Forbes 30 under 30 list, but you just want the treadmill and, you know, a couple puppies and a computer, which I feel like you probably
and
have.
like
Do you have a
cute
computer?
pajamas.
You do have a computer already.
Yeah, but it would be like a different computer with like a bunch of emails on it. Like my computer just has like YouTube on it. It would be like business. You know?
What are you excited about, Grace, for this year? Obviously, Lion's Den.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about when, you know, the full length comes out and hopefully the upcoming tour and everything else you have in store for this year. And obviously check out the movie that's out. Lion's Den just came out.
Lion's Den
15th.
just came out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think we're gonna drop another single before the EP, and all of that. We have no clue. We're just kind of guessing. But yeah, I'm just most excited to do a tour. I just want to do a tour. And
Do we know when that might be? Is it?
I was just told by one of my subscribers, XYZ, that it's going to be just kids, maybe under a different title. I'm really hoping that's true. Thanks, by the way, XYZ. So y'all let me know if you've heard anything.
It's still under wraps.
I mean, hopefully, definitely within the next year or so
Great.
of this EP and everything. And I'm just excited to get back into it, man. It's been a while with the pandemic and everything. It just really slowed everything. And so it just feels good to be out here and doing things and having movies and songs shown.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We talked about fashion a little bit. I mean, I know you were at like a Chanel show a couple years back, and we talked about a couple of shoots you're doing. So obviously that's a big part of your life. You love fashion too.
Yes.
I love all the new. Are those nude tattoos or those?
Yeah, so a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, fashion and modeling is like another weirdly discovered, definitely like full passion. I could work the longest day, and I'm so tired, but I'm just like,
let me do a shoot.
That was fun. Like, I could do that again tomorrow. Yeah, I just really, really love fashion. Love that I get to have those opportunities, you know?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about what I do, so I'm excited to see some of these things that you have coming out. We can't talk about them
I'm
yet.
excited to see what you have going on, well, you have coming out.
There's a lot, but there's more going on with you. So it's such a great hang with you.
Circle back.
Definitely check out the new record when it comes out. Lion's Den just came out July 15th. The tour, check out Hollywood Star Girl. The story, when you tell it, it's crazy, but it is.
It's good. It's cute.
It is a little bit like your life.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because you know, obviously that now she's singing, and I don't know. I guess they wrote that for you, and I'm sure there's going to be more movies and TV shows in your future. Will you do more? Do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
But that's a secret.
It's all secret. Well, it's such a great hang. Pleasure to meet you finally. I'm so happy we were able to make this happen. And check Grace VanderWaal out. Lion's Den out now. Thanks for tuning in. That was awesome. Grace VanderWaal, a star. She's amazing. Check out her new music. If you like the show, please tell a few friends about.
Well, I really enjoyed that. Not real crazy about him as an interviewer, because he does tend to interrupt and try to put words in the mouth a little bit. And he didn't let her expand in places where it's really important to let her emotions and her thoughts get completely out. But a lot of times I thought he had really good questions to ask. And Grace herself, I miss the old sort of funny, exuberant, messing with the host stuff that Grace used to do. So I do miss that. She's a lot more cool and collected now. And, cusses more and stuff like that. And I mean, I've got no problem with cussing personally. I do it. It's just on a radio talk show, it just seems to me it would be more about just simply expressing, the idea instead of throwing in the cool cuss word. But that aside, there's so much that I loved about what she said, occasionally being quite funny. And how she went into details about the AGT experience, how she got on there, that was just fantastic. Oh my God. So I learned a lot there that I personally did not know about. She wants to be a producer. She wants to produce a major producer, produce her own stuff. Yes, be in charge of everybody. Bring in an eclectic mix of people that she trusts. That's so good to know. She's going to have an EP coming out. Of course, we've known that for a long time. She's got another major song coming out, being released here soon. Maybe it's Just Kids, I hope. Or You Need Me Now. Or Make It Out Alive. Made It Out Alive. Made It Out Alive. Made It Out Alive. Or, or something. But I'm glad it may be Just Kids. So that's fantastic. So some good information on this. It spent a lot more time on the AGT thing than I thought it would. But I ended up liking that. Because she's shown a reluctance to dig in and talk about that in the interviews I've seen before. She's like, I just don't remember that. That's what she would say. So maybe I just haven't seen enough interviews. Anyway, overall, really did enjoy this. Mostly captivated by just the whole presence of Grace VanderWaal. So great. Yeah. All right, y'all let me know. Let me know what I missed, what I forgot to talk about. And tell me what you enjoyed. Catch you soon. Bye now.